Welcome family, this is the Velvet Locks with another video. Now this video is more of a chit-chat rant video, just basically regarding the spirit of entitlement. And this spirit has really been taking over this generation. So I want to talk about that spirit of entitlement. And I wanted to talk a little bit more regarding this generation and this entitled mentality. This is a video I really wanted to make a few times already. And I didn't know how it was going to be received, but you know what? Bump that. Alright, we're going to talk about it regardless, okay? Because there's a spirit of entitlement no matter where you go. And it's not just in the millenniums. It's even in the old school people. And I am so sick and tired of seeing this spirit. So let's get into this video right now. If you've never noticed these days that the customer service is just horrible. Like, you can go into a business establishment to order something, whether it be some food, and have you ever noticed that when you get to the register that person has their cell phone out? Whether they have a plug in their ear or they're busy texting, or they might even be in a conversation. Come on now. Where did that ever come from? When did a cell phone ever become a part of your job duties? And this is what I don't understand. Because back in the days when I was growing up and I was in a job, whether it be at a fast food restaurant, retail, no matter what it was, we weren't allowed to have cell phones. Even back then, they didn't have cell phones. But we weren't allowed to have stuff like that out as a distraction that kept us from doing our work. And we got reprimanded if we did not oblige by the rules of the company. So I don't understand what's going on these days and why so many businesses are allowing their employees to have their cell phones out while they're conducting business. And it gets to the point where they can't even properly serve you because they're not focused on what you're saying. They're not focused on your needs and wants. They're more focused on getting on that next conversation with their friend. And I don't get it. I mean, please, somebody let me know if that's, does that make sense? So people having their phones out in places of business, I don't get it. An entitlement spirit, because that was never allowed. Now let's stick to the place of business, okay? Now let's go into, like, even in my kind of business, in childcare, all right, where I may hire people. Now I've seen in so many different types of situations over the years of me employing different people that even then there was a spirit of entitlement. Now I've had employees that were working for me that came there every single day, or just about every day, whether it was on their cell phone, already in their ear, in a conversation. Now, not even just coming in the workplace on a call, but also receiving calls throughout the day from various families and friends, like as though they don't know you're at your job. Seriously. So I don't understand where people's mentality are coming from, where they think that it's appropriate or proper or respectful to come into a place of establishment caring for children when you come in on your phone. You come in talking on your phone, and then throughout the day you got your earplug in your ear and you're holding conversations throughout the day with your family and friends and really not paying attention to the job that you're being hired for. So I've had situations even in my place of business where I've seen that same spirit of entitlement. Next scenario would be where you are expecting you have to pass certain certificate programs in order to continue working, but there seems to be this entitlement thought life, this entitlement spirit, where people would think that they do not need to take tests in order to qualify for a job. Now, as I remember growing up and applying for certain jobs, some jobs you had to take tests for, whether it be a math, English, reading, writing, but you had to take certain tests in order to pass it first, in order to then maybe go on for an interview. Well, these days, these people, these young adults, they don't want to do tests. So many excuses as to why they can't take it, or they don't understand it, or whatever the case is. This generation, their mindset is so lazy, it's a shame. Growing up, I remember remember whenever we wanted a job, we had to go and apply for it. Now, being in New York, this is more like the hustle capital. There's so much competition for jobs. You have to actually be hungry enough to really go for a job that you really want, because there's other people probably going for the same job. But if your job requires for you to do advancements on yourself, okay, whether it be extra training, whatever it's necessary to keep you either in that job or to excel you to the next level, some of these people these days don't want to do that. They don't want to take the time to do better for themselves. They don't want to take the time to advance and grow and put in something in themselves that they can get out later on. They don't want to work hard. They don't want to think. They don't want to read. They don't want to take tests. I don't get it. But they do want to come to work every week and collect a full week's worth of wages with minimum effort. I don't understand that. Now, let's go into their attitude. Oh my gosh. Now, listen, let me say this much to you. It's really sad when you are in a place of business and you're working around people and you got to deal with that heavy spirit, that bad spirit, that bad attitude of that person. It's like no matter what you do, say to try to make people happy, you always got to deal with that negative-minded spirit. And every job has one or two. Well, I've had to deal with that type of spirit in my workplace as well. When you ask somebody to do something job-related and you see their attitude, you see their negative vibes, their body language, to show that they really don't want to do what you ask them to do. But yet you want to come in and work. You want to come in and work, you want to collect a full check, but when you're asked to do something, bickering, murmuring, and complaining. Okay? I know for a fact growing up and working in the fields that I worked at, that if you bickered, murmured, complained, and acted as though you didn't want to do your job, you got fired. You got replaced. You understand? With somebody who is more hungry for your position than you. So I don't get it. Where did this entitlement spirit come from where people just don't care anymore? People are not trying to boost themselves up, trying to push themselves to do better for themselves or their family if they have children. They don't want to work hard. They don't want to bust their butt. They don't want to advance themselves and educate themselves. They don't want to do nothing. They just want to get into a job and collect a check at the end of the week. Let's get into bad manners. I'm sure all of you had to deal with these type of entitled people as well, where when you're so nice to them, no matter how nice, they're nasty. Okay? And you can see it in their face coming a mile away, a nasty-minded spirit. You can see that coming a mile away. Some people wear their emotions on their faces. Some people wear it on their sleeve. But you can tell when a bad attitude is in the room. I'm sure you've had to work around those type of entitled people as well. That no matter how nice and pleasant you are, their response is always negative. Okay, I can relate. I can understand. Not everybody's in a great mood. But it's really sad when people who are adults do not have good manners. They don't say thank you. They don't say good morning, good night, hello, hi, goodbye. They don't speak to you. Even in the workplace. They don't speak to you. Now, the worst part of that is when you don't teach your child to speak. Okay? And this is from pre-K all the way up. We've got children not being taught good manners. It's really surprising when I do see children who have good manners, because the majority of them are not taught to speak properly. We have kids coming into our facility every single day, and they speak. But yet, when they get to the door to come inside, their parents are not teaching them to greet. Now, I know growing up, we could never walk by an adult and not say hello if we knew them. We couldn't walk by our parents and not speak. We couldn't walk by our relatives and not say hello. So when you come into a place of business, especially as a little kid, and it has to do with school related, teach your children to say good morning. Oh my gosh. And it's the saddest thing when you're standing there and as the adult, you're saying to the child, good morning. Good morning, such and such. And the parent is standing right there. Say hello. Say good morning. Excuse me? Oh, no, no, no. We couldn't get away with that growing up. But these days, these kids are getting away with so much, and it's a shame to the point where they're not even being taught good manners. It's ridiculous. Now, let's also talk about this lack of communication. Now, to me, when you don't communicate, it just shows that you don't care. So when you're trying to reach somebody, whether it be a friend, whether it be an employee, whether it be family, friends, no matter what it is, if your only way of communicating with that person is via text, there's a problem. These days, nobody calls each other anymore and say, hey, babes, hey, girlfriend, what's going on, boo? Ha, 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 da, 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 and enjoy a nice conversation. Everything these days is mostly shooting a text, shooting a text, shooting a text. Well, I seem to find that problematic because in my line of business, if I'm communicating with a parent, I like to communicate via phone. I'm not on this new wave age thing with the texting as a form of communicating. But I can understand shooting something really quick. Oh, I'm going to be running a little late today, blah, blah, blah. But not to have a full 3 paragraph on your text. Okay? But yet you just saw me that morning, and 2 seconds after we departed, I get a long text. So it's like, why not just say what you had to say when you saw me? They don't want to confront you. They don't want to communicate. They'd rather shoot you a long text and think that that's the way that they're communicating with you. I don't get it. What is going on with this new generation? We are falling apart. Now, I know when I first got my working papers back in the days that, you know, you're excited to work. You're excited to make your little extra spare change, you know, your little money. So you go out there, you hustle, and you find a job and you work. These days, there's so many that don't want to work, that go every day to places of businesses and don't want to work. My honey told me the other day that his helper had the audacity to invite an outsider, a civilian, in their vehicle that they were driving in, and didn't seem to have a problem when my honey said, wait a minute, she's not supposed to be in here. But this person, no matter what you say to them, always had an excuse, took and dragged their butts all day and barely did anything. It's like, what's going on? No one values the quality of working hard anymore. No one values the quality of life anymore. No one wants to hustle and make an honest living anymore. Everything is about making fast money, making money, and doing the bare minimums to receive it. That is so beyond what I was used to. Now, let me just talk a little bit about some of the things that I do in my place of work. Now, like I mentioned in one of my videos, I do a lot of work with shelters. One of the things that I do with shelters is that I provide free transportation for people in shelters that their children are in my daycare. Well, 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 why is it when you try to do something that's charitable for people, that's when the ugly comes out in them? And when I say that, and I don't mean to seem as though I'm being ungrateful or judgmental, but when you do nice things for people who are underprivileged, which don't have but so many means, very minimum, and they have this entitled attitude that when you go to pick up their child, they will take 20 minutes after you've already notified them that you're there, 20 minutes to take their time and bring their butts to your vehicle. Mind you, it's free transportation. Mind you, it's way out of the way. Mind you, somebody's waiting for your child downstairs. So it's this spirit of entitlement that I do not like, and I don't understand why so many people are being infected by it. Now, let's talk about respecting your authority. People don't even respect the authorities anymore. Whether it be your mother, your father, someone as far as a boss, whether it be family members, sisters, brothers, whatever, teachers, no one respects their authority anymore. Growing up, we had to respect our teachers. We had to respect our elders. Or else. Or else. These days, you go to jail. You go to jail and you go to jail. Okay? That's just how it is these days. Everyone gets away with being disrespectful, and it's supposed to be acceptable. No one gets reprimanded anymore. No one gets fired. I don't get it. Why are people getting away with being disrespectful even to your boss, to your person of authority, your mom, your dad, and you're able to get away with it? Now, let's also talk about these adult children. And I don't mean children, but adults. Once they've gotten over the age of 21, they're considered an adult. So let's talk about these adult children. I've grown my children up to work hard for what they got and not to be dependent on people. Mom's a hustler, so I expect all of y'all to have these hustle mentalities. Grind and get what's yours and do it the honest way. Well, you got people out here who are in their 20s, 30s, okay, in their age ranges of 20s and 30s, but they don't want to work. They don't want to hustle. They don't want to elevate themselves. They just want to be satisfied and stuck in their situation. I mean, they want handouts, they want help, or maybe they're not even looking for handouts and help. They're not even trying. But yet, you're between a rock and a hard place and possibly have children along with you, and you're not pushing yourself to the max. I don't get it. One thing I told myself years ago, when I started having children and after my first marriage, and I'm looking at my two little ones looking at me with their little eyes, they depend on you. They depend on you. So I made a promise to myself and God years ago that I will never, ever be homeless. I refuse to be homeless. Because as long as God bless me with children, I'm going to make sure and keep a roof over their heads. So I made sure and kept that promise even up to this day. But you got people that are in situations that are then becoming comfortable in their situations and not trying to elevate themselves to be the best that they can be. They're just settling, compromising. You know what I mean? They expect to receive without even putting an effort. That makes no sense. Me and my honey was just talking about how there's some young adults, they have their jobs, but they'll go and blow their money and then turn around and call their mother and father, expecting them to keep being their safety net and help them out of their little jams all the time. I mean, we know people like this. So it's like, excuse me? Never in this household, okay? Once you become an adult in this household and you leave home, unless it's a serious situation, you're going to make it out there. Other than that, if you need food, whatever, I will help you. But if that seems to be a weekly thing, but yet I see you on Facebook and all the clubs, I see you in YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, doing all of these stuff, going on shopping sprees, but at the same time, you then calling me every 5 seconds talking about, can I borrow can I get $40? Can I get $100? Can you pay my phone bill? Can you pay my... No. Make something of yourself. Stop being dependent on your parent. These are the things that I'm talking about. Even when you go out your way, for people, and this happens to me constantly. Bend over backwards, go out your way for people, help people, do things for people, whatever the case is, but receive unthankfulness, ungratefulness in the end. You receive that as a reward. So it's really sad, you guys, that these days there's just this mindset that's going, and it's all over the place. And it's a spirit of entitlement. And it's growing and it's getting worse every single day. And you see it yourself. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about this. Let me know, share down below your comments, things that I may not have mentioned in this video. What are the things that you're noticing about this generation and the direction that it's going in these days? Because this mindset is just ridiculous. And I wish I could move off this earth, but it's sad. It really is. So you guys, thank you for joining me on this video. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Thumbs up this video. It helps out my channel. And it also lets me know what else you want to see. So make your comments down below. Let's get the discussion popping. And I will see you in the next video. Hey fam, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell right next to it so this way you will know when I'm uploading another video. So don't forget, hit the subscribe button, give me those likes, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you will not miss another one of these type of videos. So let's get started.